I can't believe that this inept clown. Yes, you heard me correctly. Inept clown. And it doesn't matter if he's president or not. He's become more of an inept clown. And he's starting a trade. This idiot has started a trade war with Mexico, Canada, and Mexico and China. Well, China, for people of all people, completely deserves it worse. But this is the the epitome of an inept clown running the show, and y'all got what you wanted. This clown showed you exactly who he is, and of course, the he launched a, you guessed it, uh, uh he said pronounce it. The headline from the HuffPost says, White House says tariffs in Canada, Mexico, and China will go into effect Saturday. That is officially tomorrow. And this client, and oh my God, this administration has become more of a clown show every day. Every day. This is from the AP via HuffPost. It says President Donald Trump will put in place 25% tariffs on imports from Canada and Mexico, and 10% tariffs on goods from China, effective on Saturday, the White House said, but it provided no word on whether there would be any exemptions to the measures that could swift price increases to U.S. consumers. Yes, these tariffs isn't going to lower prices. It's not going to lower the value price of eggs. You all wanted that. It got more higher. It's going to get more higher as we go along. This is your fault. Of course, the inept clown had been threatening the tariffs to ensure greater cooperation from the countries on stopping illegal immigration and the smuggling of chemicals used for fentanyl. But he has also pledged to use tariffs to boost domestic manufacturing and raise revenues for the federal government. Now, can I stop right here and go right towards go on to the responses on X right now, and I'll get back to that article as we get to that. And this is where I sit. And this is where I sit here. This clown has shown us that he is very incapable of holding public office. Very incapable of overseeing office. It has become a clown. It becomes a clown show. And I say that with a value of every fiber of my being. It becomes more and more and more of an American cloud show. And y'all bought into that bullshit. And I really believe that, and I believe that this is the dumbest party, that this is the dumbest political party walking God's green earth. And this is from his press secretary that started tomorrow. The U.S. will place disastrous 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada, as well as 10% tariffs on China. And already the stock market is dipping. This is your idiocy. Because this clown promised to lower grocery prices. Instead, he'll skyrocket them. Of course, here's the thing. Friends at Reuters are reporting that the president has made a decision on the Canada and Mexico tariffs, but that thing won't actually be implementing until March 1st. I was wondering if you could confirm that and talk through some of the president's thinking there. This is what a reporter asked. Caroline Leavitt, press secretary for the White House, and said, "I saw the report, and it is false. I was just with the president in the Oval Office, and I can confirm that tomorrow on the February 1st deadline that President Trump put into place in a statement several weeks ago continues. Of course, the president will be implementing tomorrow 25% tariffs on Mexico, 20% and 20% tariffs on Canada, a 10% tariff on China, for the illegal fentanyl that they have sourced and allowed to distribute. This is baloney. This is absolute baloney. Sourced and allowed to distribute into this country and killed tens of millions of Americans. These are promises made and promises kept by the president. This is made by an inept clown. Inept clown. Everybody is starting to turn, and they're starting to turn on it. Fox News have already admitted that there was a stock market sell-off due to the tariffs announcement. And of course, an anonymous Fox host says there was a bit of a market reaction. You can see the Dow off more than 200 points. And so you'll see right about the time she confirmed that these will begin tomorrow, shortly after the 1 o'clock Eastern Time hour. That's when you saw the Dow sell off. This is only the beginning. If these tariffs are put in place and maintained, the entire economy will suffer. Prices will explode, and average Americans will be left holding the bag for Trump's incompetence. We can't afford this. American people are tired of suffering. And you all bought into this baloney. You all bought into this baloney. And I can't believe, and I can't even. A lot of people are starting to show that, yeah, they're tired. They're tired of the bullshit. They are tired of the bullshit from this and that clown. And everybody is starting to turn their backs on him. His approval rating is starting to take a dip due to this insanity. But do you know who is the real people who be supplying fentanyl? And Caroline Leavitt is an idiot. And I think that for the first time in my life, he's trying to be an idiot. This guy is a complete idiot. I can be very angry and very honest. This is our country. In some way or some form or fashion. That we are the people who be selling fentanyl to people. Not Canada, not Mexico, the America. It is United citizens bringing the fentanyl in through legal points of entry. Caroline Leavitt is a complete idiot. Caroline Leavitt is a complete idiot. And proven so by many people. Because Caroline Leavitt is a complete ignorant clown. Of course, let me say this. The tariffs carry both political and economic risks for this inept clown, who is just 2 weeks into his second term. Many voters backed the Republican on the promise that it could tamp down inflation, but the possibility of tariffs could trigger higher prices and potentially disrupt the energy, auto, lumber, and agricultural sectors. This is idiocracy, and he is not listening to the people. He's listening to Stephen Miller. He's listening to the Heritage Foundation. He's not listening to the people. He's in it for himself. the nut clown has said he was weighing issuing an exemption for Canadian and Mexican oil imports, but Levitt said she had no information on the president's decision on any potential carve-outs. Speaking to reporters later in the Oval Office, the inept clown suggested he would lower the tariffs on oil, but it was unclear if it would pay lower duties from the start. And he said, I'm probably going to reduce a tariff a little bit on that, but we're going to bring it down to 10%. That's from the inept clown himself. Of course, the United States imported almost 4.6 million barrels of oil daily to Canada in October and 563,000 barrels from Mexico, according to the Energy Information Administration. U.S. daily production during that month averaged 13.5 million barrels a day. This is the net clown has previously stated a 10% tariff on Chinese imports would be on top of other import taxes charged on products from the country. Shortly after Levitt spoke, the S&P 500 stock index sold off and largely erased its gains on the day. This is idiocy from this administration. Idiocy from this administration. People are tired of the suffering, and you're adding to it. Former U.S. trade negotiator Wendy Cutler said, we should expect all three countries to retaliate. China responded aggressively to tariffs imposed on Chinese goods during his first term, targeting the president's supporters in rural America with retaliatory taxes on U.S. farm exports. Both Canada and Mexico said they're prepared for the option of retaliatory tariffs used if necessary, which in turn could trigger a wider trade conflict that economic analysts say could hurt growth and further accelerate inflation. This isn't a nut clown running the show. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said Friday that Canada is ready to respond if this inept clown goes ahead with the tariffs, but he did not give details. He said, we're ready with a response, a purposeful, forceful, but reasonable immediate response. It is not what we want, but if he moves forward, we will also act. Trudeau said tariffs would have disastrous consequences for the U.S., putting American jobs at risk and causing prices to rise. Trudeau reiterated that less than 1% of the fentanyl and illegal crossings into the United States come from Canada. Of course, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum said Friday that Mexico has maintained dialogue with Trump's team before he returned to the White House, but emphasized that Mexico has a plan A, plan B, plan C for what the United States government decides. Now, she says, it is very important that the Mexican people know that we are always going to defend the dignity of our people. We are always going to defend the respect of our sovereignty and a dialogue between equals, as we have always said, without insubordination. Liu Pengyu, spokesman for the Chinese embassy in Washington, said the two countries should resolve their differences through dialogue and consultation. He said, there is no winner in a trade war or tariff war which serves the interests of neither side nor the world. Despite the differences, our two countries share huge common interests and space for cooperation. That tells me that people are starting to see that this clown running the show has a lack of common sense. A study this month by Warwick McKibben, Marcus Noland of the Peterson Institute for International Economics concluded that 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico and 10% of tariffs on China would damage all the economies involved, including the U.S. For Mexico, the study said, a 25% tariff will be catastrophic. Moreover, the economic decline caused by the tariff could increase the incentives for Mexican immigrants to cross the border illegally into the United States, directly contradicting another Trump administration priority. Of course, Cutler, now vice president of the Asia Society Policy Institute, that the extent of the economic damage will depend on how long the tariffs are in effect. If it's just a few days, that's one thing. If they are in place for weeks onto months, we're going to see supply chain disruptions, higher costs for U.S. manufacturers, leading to higher prices for U.S. consumers. It could have macroeconomic impacts. It could affect the stock market. Then it internationally could lead into more tension with our trading partners and make it harder for us to work with them. And the nut clown has shown you that he is not fit to be president. Oh, and this is insanity, and this is so funny to me that I have to sit there. I have to sit there and target idiots. You say, Trump's Trump more than any Democrat when it comes to having America's best interests as a priority. No, you don't. This shows you're an idiot. He's done. Binding positive takes for a majority of American citizens. Name one. Name one. You want to do what Spidey would say. Just watch Trump do what's best for the next 4 years. Buddy, he ain't going to be around for the next 4 years. Even if he has a cheeseburger laced with fentanyl. I think that I am a astute person who could target idiots. I mean, you could say people with common sense. People with common sense, the lack thereof. Come the fuck on, folks. Come the fuck on. This clown has shown you that there are people these are very stupid people who voted for this clown. And they're saying, oh, why don't you, you can say, why don't you explain the reasons you don't like Trump? In fact, why don't you compare Trump with Biden? Create a list of positive for the majority of American citizens. For one, he helped bring back work. Biden did help bring back workers. He created more jobs for people. Donald Trump likes to take away things. He likes to make it about himself. Joe Biden takes full accountability for his action and for himself. No, he's more accountable. Donald Trump, on the other hand, DEI, Joe Biden, never news, blah 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 blah. This doesn't hold himself accountable. There is a problem with that, and I have a problem with that. If you say Donald Trump is going to help the economy, 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada ain't helping, Chief. It ain't helping a lot. It's going to hurt our country. It's going to hurt American families. And when you launch that for like if it's a few days, okay. But when it's enough for months going into the year, people are going to be dead broke because of this idiot. People are going to be dead broke for this idiot. I think we look at when you look at the middle class household income. At least there is $109,000 of middle class household income in New York State alone. New York State. I cannot wrap my head around it. I cannot wrap my head around that we are when more household income. Only Maryland only California has more than that. That is, I feel mad that people have to put up with this inept clown, and I can sit there and laugh at this organization. I have to laugh at this administration. And I cannot imagine working. This is the 1% working for their interest and their interest alone. And there's no one to blame but Donald Trump himself. Donald Trump has no one to blame but himself. This will not his 25% tariffs on imports from Mexico and Canada. It's not going to help American people. Because people voted for change. They didn't vote for an America that is even more expensive. This is idiocracy. And now let's get back to the American people. Let's be more towards the American people. We can build that for the why I said publicly, this isn't the way to go for it. I will continue to call this man an inept clown until he is gone. And I think, for one, I can't even imagine being this angry that money is going to go way up high. And this money is going to go way up high. And everybody's starting to suffer. Everybody is going to suffer. I mean, how many people how many people will say that everything Trump touches dies? I have no imagination. I can't even imagine that this is the complete idiocracy of Donald Trump, and he has created a legacy of idiocracy. Point blank. And the people who voted for him, they're gonna learn the hard way. Stay happy, stay healthy, be a good human being, and keep your head up, because this clown needs to learn that being petty isn't the way to go. I'll catch you the next time. So long.